Hey everyone, this is Helena Hart, and I'm here with Adrienne Everhart today.
Hi, Helena. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so excited to be talking about this topic. For those of you who don't know Adrienne, she is just an amazing coach and she helps women really attract and maintain extraordinary relationships. And I've known Adrienne for a few years now. We've worked together and she's just one of the smartest people I've ever met. And I'm just so excited to jump into this topic today. Today, we're going to be talking about how to reignite the spark of attraction with a man even if he's pulled away. And this is something we get asked about all the time. A lot of women come to us and they're feeling sometimes panicked and devastated because the man they love has seemingly lost interest, even if he was coming on strong at the beginning. Adrienne, do you experience that as well, women coming to you with that problem?
Absolutely. I get women where the email subject is, I'm panicking because I haven't heard from him, dot, dot, dot. And that's when I know that familiar feeling. The guy is doing something unpredictable. He's no longer moving towards you. In fact, he's avoiding you, he's pulling away. And I'm so glad to share this with everyone because we really are going to show you how to reignite his attraction. Even if he's pulling away, you're starting to get that anxiety creeping up on you. You can feel it in the pit of your stomach. You know something's not right. You can sense your guy is just moving away from you.
We've all been there. It is just the worst feeling ever. I don't know a woman on this planet who hasn't experienced that, right? And what would you say is like the maybe top mistake that women make when it comes to, this situation? Man pulls away, for I would say instinctively, sometimes it kind of stirs something up in us and causes us to want to lean forward and do whatever we can to like get that connection back. What would you say the top mistake is that women make in that situation?
Yeah, I always remind my clients of how every year at the beach, I see someone chasing their dog down the beach. And then there's this moment where they just finally stop chasing their dog. And if you turn the other way, the dog will come back. So there really is this instinctual trigger that we get that when someone begins to pull away from us, we want to pursue. We want to then start calling, texting, driving by their house, doing all sorts of things to just try to, get everything back to status quo, get everything back to normal.
Absolutely. It's really a human nature thing too, is that feeling of something that we had sort of slipping through our fingers is just one of the worst feelings ever, right? So we always advise women in that situation to, first of all, just anchor yourself right where you are. Don't lean forward or act out of that anxiety. You can feel that anxiety. You want to really feel all those feelings coming up in you. You just don't want to act out of them or act in ways that's going to just push that man further away. Adrienne, would you agree?
Yeah, so that's where this requires, certain tools that we can help you with, certain ways that we can guide you into what you can do. Because normally the man pulling away, it's a very temporary thing that's going on. It feels like forever. It feels like this is the beginning of the end. And there really are some vital things that you can be doing actively instead of pursuing the man that can actually help just turn this situation around pretty quickly too when you do them.
Definitely, yeah. And some men, this is just a pattern and they pull away, I would say, quite often. So it depends on what kind of man you have. But for a lot of men, they pull away. And I'm talking about kind of a normal, healthy relationship dynamic. Obviously, if a man is going distant for weeks at a time or super hot and cold, that's not what we're talking about here. We're just, talking about normal situation where a man comes close. Sometimes after that, well, a lot of the times, men need to take a little space for themselves to kind of process strong emotions. They're not like us, their brains are hardwired very differently. We women can multitask. We can be feeling connected to a man and processing all of our feelings. And a lot of times for men, it's like just like a circuit board that gets shut down when they get flooded with strong emotions. maybe they're stressed out with work or some other situation that has nothing to do with you. Or, maybe his feelings are deepening for you and he needs to take some space for himself to process that and kind of start to feel some of those things, because men are more single focused. So the last thing you want to do when a man pulls away is, try and close that gap. A lot of times we feel this space between, ourselves and our man, and we want to rush to fill in that gap. And what we'd really recommend is to, like I mentioned, stay right where you are, pull all of your attention and energy off of the man just for right now, and put it on yourself and your own life where it belongs. Adrienne, would you agree with that?
Yeah, and this is making me giggle a little bit, because this is actually one way men test us to make sure they can trust us. They need to know that I can pull back a little bit, and and you're not going to freak out. You're not going to flip out. You're not going to break up with them. But I can pull back a little bit and take a little time for myself, because when you become married, your husband will do a very similar thing. He's going to want to, my husband loves to listen to music by himself in his music room. He loves to go on these really long bicycle rides that I couldn't possibly keep up with. And he likes to maintain his independence. And, at first, when you're not used to that, and you're in a dating relationship, or you're really starting to move to the next level, they'll test you and they'll go rogue for a little bit, what feels like rogue. And what they're really doing is just, sometimes, just like you said, Helena, I love it. So often they're just figuring out the relationship. They are really starting to feel something powerful for you, or something shifting, or maybe they're just on the fence about the relationship a little bit. So you want to give him that space to do that. And then the big thing is, can you keep your life going, while you give him that space?
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. I call that, when a man's testing you for your tolerance for his independence. As we all know, men really value their independence and freedom, and they want to feel free in a relationship. Not that they want to go, pursue other women, or, try and talk to other women. If your man's doing that, obviously that's a major red flag. But you really want to give him that feeling that he can, take some space when he wants to. And you want to be doing that yourself too. It's a really healthy thing. I've seen comments in, the comment sections of some, relationship advice videos where women say that, once you get married, there is no space, or once you're in a relationship, you should be best friends, right? And it's like,
I'm laughing.
Right?
Yeah.
You want to be doing that as well, because then it's like two whole individuals coming together, and not this situation where you're just kind of codependent or trying to push and shove each other into getting your needs met, right?
Yeah, no, there's definitely, you have your space, I have my space, and you're just a lot more confident about it when you're married. So when you're dating, I think sometimes we're like, where's this going, and where's it really, going to, eventually lead me? What are your expectations? And this is just where it's so important to just maintain that feminine, your independent and powerful feminine energy, which is exclusive to you. You are a woman. This is your gift. You have this amazing feminine energy to make your life so rich and full and juicy, and do all these magnificent things with your own time and your own creativity, and even your own masculine energy. But at the same time, you're maintaining warmth, and you're not being, pushy on the guy. So this is just where you have to really have a talk to yourself and find out what's really driving that motivation to take action, and figure out, what path am I going to take now? You have this moment where I could text him, I could move forward, and I could pursue him right now. Or am I going to work on my blog? Or am I going to work on my gardening project? Or am I going to work on cleaning out a closet? Or am I going to go to the gym? And you have that opportunity to step up and be fully embodied in your feminine energy. And then, I can't promise you this will happen, but it happens a lot with my clients. Just in that moment when they're really, heading off to yoga, the guy will text and say, hey, what are you doing later for dinner? They'll feel that in your energy, that you're this independent, free spirit, and they come back around. So this is one of the magical things that happens.
Yes, men come back around, right? They tend to come back around.
Yeah, they just need a little time. Yeah, a little space.
Yeah, such a great point. I always say your masculine energy needs something else
Ooh.
to do when you're in that situation. If you're turning your masculine energy onto a man by, for example, going up in your head and analyzing the situation, trying to figure him out, or of course, lean forward and reach out to him and try and get him to talk to you in those moments when he's pulling away a little bit. I always say your masculine energy needs something else to do. It's going unemployed. And so rather than using it to try to figure a man out or get him to come back, all you need to do is employ it in some other area of your life, just like what Adrienne was talking about. Beautiful. By, working on your business or a hobby, or go, taking an art class or a dance class, or go to the gym. I mean, there's endless possibilities of what you can do. And that's what allows you to be in your feminine energy when a man shows back up, which he absolutely will. I truly believe if he's the right man for you. Now, Adrienne, I'm curious what you think. I always say it's what a woman does when a man comes back towards her that makes all the difference, that either compels him to want to keep coming close or freaks him out and causes him to want to back off again and stay there. Have you found that to be true?
Yeah, I love that. That's something that I've known you for a good long while, and that's something that early on when I was studying to be a coach and you were my coach, that was one of the first things you taught me is like what you're doing now is you're planting seeds for the future, and so this is where, your feminine energy, it just, you get to your masculine energy can actually come together, and you can have some of the most beautiful, creative, enlightening moments of your life. For me, it was becoming a certified dating and relationship coach. I found my niche in this industry because I had this aha moment. Now, if my energy would have been focused on the man and just trying to get him to do what I wanted him to do, I would have lost that amazing opportunity to, start, radiating, start doing something at a higher frequency for me as just a person. And the byproduct of that is, well, you end up being more attractive to the guy. He ends up saying, wow, you've got this neat hobby or this career, or you've got this cool blog, or wow, you're taking salsa dancing lessons. And he gets curious about you and intrigued by you. So that's a much better option than pursuing him and trying to get him to do what we want them to do.
Yes, of course. Yeah. If you've ever tried that, it doesn't work. Trying to get a man to do something that you want him to do in those moments when he needs to back away and take some space, it doesn't work. I've tried it. Everyone's tried it. And if you've ever tried that, you know that it just pushes him further away and makes him feel like it's not safe to come back towards you. So we did want to share our number one tip for re-attracting a man, or reigniting that spark between the two of you, even if he has pulled away. Adrienne, you ready to share that tip now?
Well, we talked about so many of them because we have so many great ones. I kind of lost track of which one we were going to talk about tonight, because we could just, this is a topic that I feel like we as coaches have really mastered, and we have so many different things to share with you. But my favorite one is, to me, the most important one is just, opening up your heart and being vulnerable, and
Mhm.
going to vulnerable, scary place that otherwise you would not to do. And when I first started learning about coaching and on all of these words, I'm learning all this new vocabulary, I saw the word vulnerability. I thought vulnerability meant you be a doormat. I thought that meant I am open and I am exposed to get hurt. That was my understanding of vulnerability. And so the vulnerability we're talking about is actually an honest part of who you are. And so often we're saying that this work begins and ends with how you feel. And when you can go to a man and be vulnerable and say, you know, I don't like this dating website, but I'm on it, and I'm hopeful. Or, I've been feeling really lonely. I've been feeling isolated the past few days. And you're just unzipping this part of your human experience. You're sharing it with him. You're sharing some of your heart with this man. Then that trust and that deepening happens with him. And that's where you reach this moment of illumination with another man. That's one of the key steps to really connecting to a man so deeply that he never wants to leave you. You become this one woman in his life who is not phony or fake or just on the surface, but you can go deep and say, oh, I'm feeling scared, or I'm feeling really, jealous, or I'm feeling intimidated. And you can really just be honest about what it is you feel. So I would have to say vulnerability is on the top of my list. What do you think, Helena?
Absolutely. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. Vulnerability is like the number one key to unlocking a man's heart, really, if he's the right man for you, of course, right? And just going deep within yourself. Like I mentioned, a lot of times we want to lean forward and do those things that push a man away because we're scared to feel some of those feelings, right? So when you stop doing all of that stuff, feelings will start to come up, right? And those feelings are your key to really reattracting that man and bringing him closer than ever for so many reasons. And we could just talk forever about it. One thing is when you're able to express what's going on for you on the inside, a man will really start to trust you when you're congruent or being authentic. Otherwise, if you're feeling all this stuff on the inside and you're just trying to be nice and perky and paste a smile on your face on the outside, a man can feel that in your energy and your vibe, and it will make him feel unsafe to come close to you on a very deep subconscious level. He might not be able to put his finger on it, but he'll just feel like something's off. So when you can just be totally transparent and authentic and real and vulnerable with a man, that is the absolute key to really bringing him closer than ever and inspiring his love and devotion. Of course, you want to be with a man who you trust with your deeper feelings. If he's someone who just kind of comes and goes as he pleases, obviously he's probably not the right man for you. But when you can be vulnerable, it's actually the way to protect yourself most seriously. Like Adrian was saying, a lot of people are scared to be vulnerable, but what happens when you're connected to your heart and your own emotions, your intuition kicks in and you can really feel like, is this a good situation for me? And your perception clears up a little bit. Adrian, have you found that to be true?
Yeah, and just talking about this all, it's almost like this is our chance to audition, let the man audition for us, because we're, can you handle a real girl? I don't want to have a marriage. I don't want to have a long relationship where I am hiding myself. You're going to find out who I am sooner or later. Might as well be now. I remember with my husband, we had gone away for a weekend, and this was back, I was just getting out of college and kind of transitioning between, still having a roommate and kind of moving on. And we came back from the beach. We were just dating. We were just like a couple of months dating, and we had gone to the beach for the weekend and came home, and my roommate had a party, and I could tell like maybe someone had possibly been in my bedroom. I wasn't sure. And it just, things were like a mess. And I just, at first I was like, well, I just need to be like, oh, well, my silly roommate, did this thing, or all these things happen, or whatever it may be. And instead I broke down in tears. I was just so exhausted. I broke down in tears. And even though we had spent all this time together at the beach, he didn't want to leave me that night. And he didn't want to leave me the next night. And he didn't want to leave me the night after night. And I believe that we really bonded over my vulnerability. Here was an opportunity for this man to come into my life, and he didn't like my roommate situation. Great. That makes them want to get the two of you a house together. So vulnerability is not for manipulation purposes, but it really does open your heart up to the man, and they'll want to rescue you. It will really activate this thing that guys have in them for their masculine energy, and they'll want to take care of you. They'll want to be there for you.
It's so true. It's just so true. It's what a man does in those moments that really gives you a lot of information about whether he really cares about your feelings and wants you to feel good and be happy. The right man for you will, oh my gosh, just want to be your hero and rush to your side and right and want to just like be there with you in those moments. Those are the moments that really bring you closer. And it doesn't
I'm
have
starting to cry. It's so sweet because it's so true. Those are those moments where it just gets so sweet and wonderful, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And if it doesn't, if it causes a man to shut down and not, if he can't handle your feelings, what do you want with that guy, right? So this is something, and it doesn't have to be some big dramatic thing. You can start really small in baby steps. And I know this sounds like sort of a daunting task, or it might feel a little scary at first, but once you try it and start to get incredible results, I promise you, it will just become much more natural. It'll become like second nature, where you are just this like open vessel, totally authentic, totally yourself. And there's no pretending. You don't need to be obsessed with playing the game perfectly, right? If when you have this down, there is no game. It just becomes like the most natural thing in the world. And it doesn't naturally come to me. I'm somebody who I would say naturally wants to kind of cover things up. And once I started to learn how to do this correctly, it changed my entire life, not just my love life, but really every area of my life. So I know it can be difficult. And if you'd like a little extra help with this, Adrian and I have created a couple of programs. One of them is called From Heartbreak to Happily Ever After. And that is perfect for you if you're in a situation where maybe a man has just broken up with you or pulled away and you're feeling heartbroken or devastated and you don't know what to do to either bring him back closer than ever or possibly attract a new man who's a million times better for you. Adrian, do you have anything you want to say about that program?
Yeah, it's really everything you've always wanted to have in a program when it's about starting over. And either starting over and you make some great internal changes, and then the guy is away from you. He's making some great internal changes, and then the two of you realign. So that happens. And then sometimes you make some great changes, that guy cannot. But then you, like a magnet, you attract the man that is right for you. So it really is everything you could ever want in a program to get that laser focus and know all the steps in between putting yourself back together, getting your life back together. Because heartbroken, I've been there, Helena's been there, I'm sure you have been there. And it's really a place where you need support and comfort, and that's what we give you. And we also have live Q&A that happened in the class when we recorded it from some amazing women who are in the, experiencing the same thing you're going through right now. So you get to hear their feedback as well. And I think there's so much strength in having that sisterhood and just hearing the process and finding out, what is it I really need to be doing right now? Like, how can I really activate my partner? And what's the best thing I can be doing for myself right now? So there's a lot of valuable self-care in it as well. And it just guides you from this place of depleted and heartbroken to happily ever after. I wish I would have had this program back when it was happening to me. It would have been a wonderful friend to have in my life.
Absolutely. I mean, it really is everything. A lot of women don't have the time or, financial resources to invest in one-on-one coaching. And for women in that situation who are also going through heartbreak and very confused and not knowing what to do, I always recommend this program because it really, truly is everything you need to know from going from heartbroken to happily ever after. We also have another program called Find the One Without Coming Undone. That would be perfect for you if you're in a situation where, you've been dating for a while, or maybe you're newly single and you want to attract the love of your life. And we have just so many tools and resources and classes and PDFs and guides. We've just thrown everything it is that you need to know if you're in that.
I call it a bottomless reservoir of information. So it really is. It's like bottomless. I will get emails from women who bought this program, several months ago, and they're like, I'm still, I've got to this PDF. I read it right before a date, and it helped me so much. So everything is smartphone friendly. Of course, it's also for a computer or tablet friendly. You can just click it and read it. And I always encourage everyone to use a little search tool so you can go in there and find the exact topics you need. Helena has an amazing book that she wrote about personas that's in there. Mm-hmm. And I have a sex guide, I have a dating guide, I have a meditation. I mean, we collaborated on a couple of different things. There's just so much knowledge in our VIP library. It really is the ultimate library for a woman who, needs to have all of these resources just at one place where you can go get them and access them for whatever's going on in your life at the moment. I don't expect you to read them and memorize them all, but they're yours to keep. You have them forever.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. So I will include links to both of those in the description right underneath this video. And we are running a special this month only. We are, you can bundle them and buy them both for a lower price. Do I have that right, Adrienne?
Yeah, it's everything you need all in one box. It's the complete package. You get Heartbroken Happily Ever After, and you get Find and Keep the One Without Coming Undone. It's everything all in one box. You get both programs for one low price. And you can find the link over at everheartcoaching.com/courses, or Helena's going to post the link as well. Thank you, Helena.
I'll post all the links. And thank you so much, Adrienne, for sharing your knowledge today. I always have so much fun talking with you. And I definitely hope that we can do this again soon.
Oh, me too. It's always great to see you. And we just get to help women everywhere and who have gone through this, whether it's heartbreak or trying to find the right person or put their life back together. All of it is such great knowledge. I'm just happy to be part of it with you and share this with all the amazing women out there in the world.
Thank you so much. Yes, I love it. This is just our true passion, really helping women get that lifelong committed relationship they've always wanted, really no matter where they're at, starting out in their love life right now. So go check those out if you're interested. If you have any questions for us or comments, feel free to leave those in the comment section. I love hearing from you. We love hearing from you, and I will see you all again soon.
Bye.